performer?
So I go by CBR, which stands for Country Boy Reese. But formally, just for short, everybody call me Reese.
And that's Reese.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
And what's your real name?
My real name is Maurice Daniels.
Maurice Daniels,
Yeah.
and that's where the Reese comes.
That's where the Reese comes from.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you from Colleton County? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, born and raised, native of Springtown, South Carolina. That's right off of Highway 61. I've lived there my whole life. Went to school here, Ruffin Middle, Smokes Middle, Northside and Bells for the elementary school, and then I graduated from Colleton County High as a Cougar.
Excellent. Now, did you play sports when you were at the high school?
Nah, I didn't do much of sports. I tried out a little bit. I dibbled and dabbled, but I wasn't the most athletic.
Yeah. Did you get involved in any performing arts? Did you sing, anything like that?
I didn't. A lot of my musical talent comes from as a kid I was a part of the Sunbeam Choir, and that was at the church down there in Springtown, United Methodist Church. So I was a part of the choir. So with me being a part of the choir, we sang and danced. I was part of the singing choir and as well as the praise team. And through there, me and a bunch of my cousins and everything, we put together a small rap group.
Okay.
And, we were young at the time when we did it, and we felt we had the talent and the creativity, so that's where that kind of started out as.
Excellent. Now, did you do any higher education? Did you go to college? Or?
No, I didn't go to college. I just, after high school, I went straight into the military. I joined the Marines.
Awesome. Thank you for your service.
I appreciate it.
Did you train down at PI?
Yep, Paris Island. Hoorah, Paris Island.
There you go.
Home of the sand fleas.
Awesome. That's absolutely right. Did you? So how long were you in the Marines? And
I did 4 years. I went in straight at 18. 2 weeks after I graduated, I enlisted, and I was off to Paris Island. Upon completing all my training and everything, I went overseas to Japan, where I was over there for a year and a half. That was my first duty station, which I traveled a lot while over there. Then I came back stateside for a while, went to Afghanistan, and then I finished out right there in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina.
Okay.
So once my 4 years was up, it was to the point to where I was like, this isn't for me anymore. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to take a different route. Nothing against it. It was just time served.
Gotcha. Did you have a specialty in the military?
So my primary MOS when I enlisted in to the Marine Corps was food service. So I was pretty much a cook in the military. I went to culinary training schools and things of that nature, and did extra training to learn how to deal with working in the field and everything. So that was my primary MOS, but upon being stationed, a lot of times you just get, sent different places. By me being a cook, it's one of those things where anytime they send personnel somewhere, you got to have enough personnel to sustain food.
Right.
So I was all over the place, boat fuel, supply, different things. I touched a little bit of different things.
Yep. If a Marine's hungry, it's not a happy Marine.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. All right. So tell me about you get back to the Walterboro.
Okay.
And did you go right into music, or did you work around for a while, or?
It was kind of like a combination of both. When I first came back home, initially, I took on some cooking jobs, working, different places, Waffle House, IHOP, couple restaurants, bars, things of that nature. I mean, it was at one point I was working like 3 jobs at once. I'd leave this one, go here, leave that one, go there. So it was like I was just juggling it. And then I was like, hey, man, I got some talent. Why not do something with it? And, a couple buddies of mine were still in the area that I used to do music with prior, so we linked up and got back together and started creating more music, and we did the whole rap, hip hop. We even experimented with the battle rap. A lot of those guys was better at it than I was, but it was just something to experiment and try.
Yeah.
And so it was just always a passion for music, and just trying to be able to create a sound that people would be willing to listen to.
So what made you decide to go out and buy a cowboy hat?
Well, one of the things when it comes, so I'm from the country, right? And so boots, cowboy hats, that was kind of something that was normal, you know, whether it was for fashion or it was, hey, you working outside in the field, put a hat on to cover you. Cowboy hats work good for it, right?
Yeah.
So it was always a thing that was a staple, you know, growing up. We was around cowboy hats. Going into the military, and then upon completing the military, I also did construction. Okay. So I've always found myself with wearing boots. And I never really wanted to wear the regular traditional steel toe boots. So I decided to get more of the cowboy style boots. And then just from there, I started wearing my hat more. It was just one day I just saw a hat, and I believe it was like the gas station, and I bought it and I started wearing it, and it was kind of like an attention grabber thing. Yeah. You know, you see, black guy walk around with a cowboy hat on, it's like, okay, that's something different, you know what I'm saying? And so it became my signature look, and became now, you always catching me in the cowboy hats and the boots.
That's awesome.
You know, don't get me wrong, I'll throw on a fitted, I'll throw on some J's or some other sneakers, some Nikes or whatever, but for the most part, I'm always going, and it helps a lot with me always being active, always working, always outside. You can kind of do with any kind of work in some boots. And you don't have to worry about keeping them clean.
There you go. Yeah. Now tell me about your music. You've delved into country music now.
Okay.
So how do you pick your songs? How do you get your inspiration?
So the transition for me to even going in the country was just me wanting to try something different. My initial was I wanted to kind of harmonize and play with my voice a little bit more to, give it that more creative feel. And the lyrics to one of my hit singles, To Whom It May Concern, it came to me naturally, right? It was just like a voice went off in my head and I heard it. And so I just went and started searching for beats. So, I'll just go online and I'll kind of try and find an instrumental with the right instruments in it that I feel like can capture my sound. And once I find that beat, I kind of allow the beat to talk for itself, especially if it's a nice beat and it has a nice melody. I like to hear what the beat is saying itself. So that way, once I add my lyrics on top, it can go together, it can work together and make a masterpiece.
Yeah. So you like to tell story songs?
I love stories. I love stories. I love to be able to tell not only my story, but a story. One of the great things that I did learn from the military was in boot camp, we always had to speak in third person. You're no longer me or I, You have to refer to yourself in third person. Sir, this recruit is hungry. This recruit is thirsty. And it gave me an insight on taking myself out of the equation. I don't want to make it all about me anymore. So I want to be able to tell my story, but in a way, anybody that ever had any glimpse of what I'm speaking on is going to be able to relate. And what I want to do is not only to relate, but to give you that sense of relief to where okay, you're not alone.
That's good.
So when I made To Whom This May Concern, everybody has taken a loss, right? Whether it's the loss of a loved one, a pet, a job, everyone's taking a loss. So you know what it feels like to lose.
Gotcha.
And that's what I wanted to be able to pull on everybody's heartstrings.
Gotcha. Now, is this the one you've done the music video to?
Yeah, just the one I shot the music video
Now, you got together with Vernon Gilbert, and it was your first music video?
I had a few music videos that I've shot in the past, nothing of this magnitude, because like I said, once again, this was different. And so, a lot of my old music videos, it consisted of, jumping around, bouncing around, hyperactive, fun, right?
Yeah.
This was different because it was more mellow and laid back. And one of the things that we knew was the visual had to be able to match with what I was saying. We needed that story to just flow.
And it looks very calm.
Yeah.
It's a very calm look. When I was watching it, it's very well done.
Yes.
And so, with the railroad tracks and the pickup truck,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very, very well done.
Yeah.
And so, but it does have that really a mellow feel to it.
Mm-hmm. And that was the whole purpose. Because when I initially thought of the visual, I had to, take a lot of things into consideration, because a lot of times you can try and do a lot of different things, and it'll be too much, and it'll overpower your vision, and so it'll drown out the dream. And so what we thought of when we was constructing it, let's make it as simple as possible. And with the simplicity of what we're doing, we're aiming to grab everybody's attention with it.
Nice.
So we was like, just a few scenes, few different moments, because it was a whole lot that we captured that day. I mean, we started working probably like a little bit before noon, and we didn't end till the sun was going down.
Gotcha.
And we put in a full day's work. So, there was a lot that we was trying to capture. We was here, we was there. But then once we got back to the drawing board, it was like, hey, a lot of this is going to get scratched and cut. And, to be honest, a lot of the things that we was capturing is just so we could have captured that right one.
Right.
Because if we would have just went down there and took one or two shots and ran with that, then that's all we had.
Gotcha.
But we gave ourselves a whole platter to work with.
Now, are you working on a whole album set of music, or what's your goal from here?
So I have an album in mind. I have a substantial body of work to where I can compose an album. I'm not too eager to run out and do it. It's something that's actually in the works and that I'm working on. Right now, I just want to give a taste of myself, and just kind of let everybody warm up to what's going on and the new sound, and kind of just let it dictate itself. You know what I'm saying? Encore, encore, encore.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, are you playing anywhere? Do you play in any of the local areas?
So I've done a few local shows, and I actually have a few more that's in the works right now. Pretty much getting everything worked out with dates and getting coordinated on all of that aspects. But it's definitely, I got a few shows that's coming up here in the next upcoming months.
Excellent. Now, we're going to put a link to the video in the story.
Yes.
So where can people see your music?
So a lot of people can see my music, not only once you click the link, but you could check me out on Facebook. You can look me up, Maurice Daniels. And on there, you can find my page, and you can find all of the other links to all of my other social media platforms. But mostly right now, you definitely can find all of the music on Facebook and on YouTube.
Excellent. So now tell me, who are some of your inspirations? Who are some of the artists you watch and you say, these are, wow, they're good? Okay,
so, there's a lot of like current guys that's taking over now. You got Teddy Swim, you got Morgan Wallen, Lucas Graham, Horzer. The list goes on. So when it comes down to music, a lot of the inspirations, some songs, I've probably heard and probably can sing the words, and I never knew the artist, right? And then I go back and I find out the artist, and then I go listen at his music, and now I'm hooked. So the list goes on, even from not only with just country, just a lot of Southern soul, Marvin Gaye, Al Green, Otis Redding, the Temptations, just anybody that had a good soul-filled, story-filled song, is just awesome.
Awesome. How does your family feel about those?
Oh, the family loves it. My mother, not only my mother, my nephews and them, they're all my biggest fans. My youngest nephew, knows my songs in and out. Both my youngest two nephews, and then the older ones, they know the songs. But I know my mother is very thrilled. I'm not gonna say I've been the best behaved child growing up, from a toddler to adolescent. There was some troubles. It was a few of those I almost lost you there conversations. So she had to stand beside me and be behind me, through the whole journey from everything that I did. So she was someone that witnessed firsthand my trials. And so for me to be at 35 now and to have went through what I've went through, coming from what I've came from, it makes her, it makes her proud. It makes her proud, and it makes me happy that I'm able to give her that, because a lot of times, especially when you're coming from a small area like Walterboro, and when you look like me, right, and you come from the areas that you do, right, a lot of times society don't expect you or think that you're gonna succeed or excel. I was probably counted out several times, and through all of that, I knew I had to rise above all of that. Because if I didn't, then I just made everybody right. Right? Everything that was negative said about my mother, right? Oh, well, he's not gonna be able to do this or that. That's Cookie's son, Yep. So I had to prove them wrong, not only for myself, but to let the people know, like, hey, yes, I'm Cookie's son. Yep. And look at me now.
Perfect. Now, let me ask you this, and I ask a lot of folks this. You're from the area, you're from Colleton County. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people talk down on Colleton County. What would you say to the youth of Colleton County right now?
I would tell them to be patient, right? To be patient and trust the process. I was one of those people at one point in time. I used to talk trash about Colleton County. Oh man, I can't wait till I get out of Walterboro and I'm getting my check and I'm gone.
Right.
And then I realized that I was just as much as part of the problem, because how can you acknowledge that there's a problem, right, and don't fix it? Don't try to fix it, So to be able to break that generational curse and cycle, it's like, right now, that's one of my main goals, is to try and give back to the youth, especially the misguided youth, and let them know, just be patient and trust the process. Don't try to jump out there and obtain too much too fast, because if you get it faster than you're ready for it, you're going to lose it just as fast as, if not faster. So, you're most definitely patience. Just be patient. Trust the process.
Gotcha. Where do you want to see yourself in 10 years?
Oh man, that's a good question. I definitely want to see myself in a position to do great things. It's been a long time coming, and I know 10 years is a long time to go. But one thing that I know for certain is that I've already got more years behind me than I know for a fact that's in front of me. So my plans is to every day, every month, every year, take it and treat it as if it's my last. And in 10 years, I'm in a position to where I can have a following, to where I can have, especially youth, believe in what I have to say and is able to, trust me, to trust the process, to be able to get to where I'm trying to go. 10 years, I see myself being further than what I am today, right? And I want them to understand that you can get there.
Perfect. Anything else you want to add?
Not really, man. I'm thankful for the opportunity once again, because I would have never known that I would be sitting here today doing a interview with the press, right? And it's motivational, because it lets me know that it's possible. And to some other people, it may seem easy, but they don't see the dedication and hard work that was put in my whole life. just to get to this moment. So it's, you know, it's amazing. I'm taking it in, and, you know, I'm trying to, like, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm doing cartwheels on the inside, right?
That's great.
Because,
That's great.
you know, I was able to take a gamble on myself and try something new, right? And that's a lot of times, a lot of people don't like to try new things because they're afraid of what might happen. And I just took the chance to try something new, and it's been working. You
That's
know,
awesome.
a couple months ago, I decided to make a country song, and you know, I'm trending now. So
That is great. Well, thank you for being with us
I'm
today.
glad to be here.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so
It was
much.
a pleasure.
And
Yes, sir.
okay, and just a couple follow-ups. What's your mother's name?
My mother's name is Ernestine Daniels,
She goes by Cookie.
but she goes by Cookie.
Cookie.
Yep.
And do you have brothers and sisters?
I have two sisters, Latrell Daniels and Kimberly Daniels.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
Yep. I got 5 kids and 4 nephews. I don't have any nieces. I'm the only one with the girls.
Gosh, so you got 5 kids?
Yep, I have 5
What are their
kids.
names?
There's Amani, Ayana, Kamaya, Cornelius, and Jamari.
All right. Excellent. Well, congratulations on that.
appreciate it.
Now, do they like the fact that Dad's singing?
Oh, they love it. They loved it. I mean, they love the music when I rap, and it was cool for them to love it because even then when I rapped, I had a positive message, right? And that's where I had to transition the lanes because it was like my message, I was putting it on the wrong plate.
Right.
You know, I was trying to eat with a salad fork. You know what I'm saying? And I had soup, right?
Yep.
And so it wasn't working. And so that's when I realized, like, okay, because even back then when I was doing the rap and the hip hop, you know, my kids, nephews, they knew my songs.
That's kind of a wake-up call, isn't it?
Yep. And so it was that I knew that, you know, those little sponges was picking up everything I was putting down, right? So I knew that, you know, as a herd dog, I had the ability to run the cattle off the cliff, right? But I didn't want to do that. I'd rather just take them to safety, run another way. So that's what I had to ultimately do with my music.
Perfect. All right. That's what I got. That's awesome, man. All right, let me stop this. That is great.
Yeah.
That was absolutely perfect. And as always, anything we can do, let us know. I need to get some pictures from you.
Okay.
And then I guess Vernon's going to send me the link to the video, or you can send me the
He's
link?
gonna have to send you the link in the video on the pictures and everything because he has everything.
Oh, okay, cool.
I know I did have. Well, he got all the pictures because the ones I got them from him. So it'd be best coming from one place.
Yeah, he can send them over. He's got our Dropbox, actually.
Yep. So he can put it in there, the pictures and stills and the video link and everything.
How did y'all meet up?
So I known him for a while, right?
Uh-oh.
Yes.